Hello my dear students, very good afternoon. Welcome back to our news analysis program. Today we shall be discussing the Hindu dated July 20. State Bank of India has postponed its mains examination, clerical cadre mains exam. It was scheduled to be held on July 31. The SBI has postponed it to another date. The exact date is yet to be announced. So, believe that it is a blessing in disguise. You got some more additional days for preparation. Let the preparation continue in the right earnest. General awareness is well covered through 4 different ways in the Udyog Seva app of ours. I have given you monthly general awareness. I have given you weekly general awareness bulletin, news bulletin, general awareness test and weekly updates. Please read everything. The same thing may appear in different notes, but mind you, you will be getting refreshed. At the time of the examination, you won't be surprised that the same thing will come for your examination. That is my confidence. Last year, when SBI conducted its 2020 prelims mains examination, all the 50 questions that were appeared in the question papers were from our notes, and I have done a video to that as a proof to that. You can see it in our YouTube channel. I request all of you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We shall be giving you updates regarding all examinations in our YouTube channel. Please join all our social media platforms like Instagram, Telegram, YouTube channel and Facebook. So, we shall start straight away. All of you are requested to subscribe to the Hindu newspaper and read it for at least 2 hours very seriously. There are people who have just joined today. They are also advised to subscribe to the Hindu and start reading. There is a beginning for everything, and let the newspaper be read at the earliest. July 20. Rahul Prashant Kishore ex-election Commissioner Lavasa on list of spyware targets. Why were curbs relaxed for Bakrid? Supreme Court questions Kerala. These occupy the main news items of the Hindu. We shall take one by one and do. Rahul Prashant Kishore ex-election Commissioner Lavasa on list of spyware targets. Listen, this was a shocking revelation to many in this country, a country where the law prohibits snooping, prohibits tapping of telephones illegally. The news website The Wire reports that Rahul Gandhi, election commissioner, former election commissioner who resigned, Ashok Lavasa, election strategist Prashant Kishore, who was instrumental in the success of Trinamool Congress in the recent elections in West Bengal, ex-EC Ashok Lavasa, Abhishek Banerjee, the second in line of Trinamool Congress, and the Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav appeared on the leaked list of potential or actual targets for spying by Israeli company NSO's Pegasus software. What is Pegasus? Pegasus is a spyware. It's a spyware developed and licensed by Israeli NSO group. It can be used to infiltrate smartphones that run on both iOS and Android operating systems and turn them into surveillance devices. It is quite unethical, and if such a thing has happened, it is not acceptable in this country, and generally NSO's customers are governments. NSO's customers are governments, so that makes more seriousness to the issue. Anyway, keep on reading, let more things come. Government has very clearly said that it has no tainted hands in this particular instant. instance. So please read continuously and try to understand how the story develops. New immigration law to replace extant 1983 Act. A new immigration bill 2021, immigration bill 2021, it is in the bill stage now. It will be tabled before the parliament very soon, and once it is passed and given assent to by the President of India, it will become the law of the land. So what are the provisions of the new law? This particular law will replace the Immigration Act of 1983, an old act which is almost 35 years of age. A Bureau of Immigration Policy and Planning, a Bureau of Immigration Policy and Planning with a Chief of Immigration Policy and Planning and Bureau of Immigration Administration with a Chief Immigration Officer. This is one of the provisions of the new act, of the new bill. To ensure welfare and protection of immigrants, this particular bill, if it is passed as an act, has got a huge impact on Keralites, especially many Keralites are working abroad. Of course, many Southerners are working abroad. Immigration checkpoints will be set up. So these are all done for the protection and welfare of the immigrants. It is only in the bill stage, when only it is presented in the parliament, that we will come to know more about the bill. So a news is just breaking. Catch it in that stage and develop your information as things evolve. Health above faith is a Hindu editorial. All Hindu editorials must be read because beautiful independent coverage of things, independent opinion of events that are unfolding, and good language. Please read. Supreme Court lays down salutary principle that health is above religion. Right to health must override religious sentiments. Right to health. Recently, the government of Kerala relaxed restrictions, COVID related restrictions for 3 days. Understand the political calculus, how Congress works is very difficult to understand. The Hindu cites the latest example of Punjab when it appointed Navjot Sidhu as its president. Navjot Sidhu is made the PCC president, and he has proven that he cannot work like a team. A very few MPs and MLAs support him, but the decision has come from above, and he has been appointed the speedy trial, a fundamental right, says the High Court of Bombay. Listen, in Indian jails, thousands are languishing, awaiting trial. Mind you, the criminal laws are positive in nature. You are innocent so long as your guilt is proven. But to prove your innocence, the prosecution has to give at least a charge sheet. So, charge sheet is denied, charge sheets are not given properly, trial is not taking place properly, and now the court says that right to speedy trial is a fundamental right. The court was listening to issue of people languishing in prisons awaiting trial to begin. It's quite unfortunate that thousands of people have to languish in jails awaiting trial. They are under trials and their good part of their life is lost in jails. Quite unfortunate. Global call to end Taliban offensive. We know that Taliban is closing in on securing power in Kabul in Afghanistan. Official Afghanistan government is very weakened when the US and NATO forces moved away from the country. They withdrew completely from Afghanistan. For the past 20 years, both NATO and the US forces had been in Afghanistan, and they had been providing support to the official government. All of a sudden they withdrew completely, and now they are in the dock. Taliban forces, the ultra religious Taliban forces are closing in on from every side, and Afghanistan, Kabul government is very much cornered. Many diplomatic missions in Afghanistan call for an urgent end to Taliban's military offensive. Taliban had agreed that it wanted to secure a political deal to end the conflict. The statement is signed by the US, the EU, and by a dozen diplomatic missions in Kabul. India is yet to take an official stand on the matter. To know more about the recent history of Afghanistan, watch our previous episodes. I have given ideas about what is happening in Afghanistan in many days explanations. Please go through them if you are interested in. India on course of 11% growth this fiscal to meet fiscal goal, says India's Chief Economic Advisor. Chief Economic Advisor Krishnamurthy Subramanian says that the Indian economy will come back very quickly and will grow at 11% and will meet the fiscal deficit target of 6.8% this year itself. What is this fiscal deficit? Fiscal deficit means expenditure of the government minus income. When expenditure is more than the income or receipt, revenue, in this case we call it revenue. Income is not a good word when you represent it by the government, for the government. Revenue, expenditure is more than the revenue, then there will be deficit. So total expenditure minus total receipt will give you the fiscal deficit. The word fiscal means that pertains to governmental income and governmental expenditure. When government's revenue is more than the expenditure, then government will have a fiscal surplus. When expenditure is more than the income, government will have a fiscal deficit. Growth must be sufficient to meet the fiscal target. Chief Economic Advisor is very confident that Indian economy will grow at 11% and will meet the fiscal target that the government has kept for itself for the year 2021-2022. GST rupees 81,179 crore dues to states for the year 2020-21. Listen, the GST came to being in India from July 1, 2017. This was the day GST, the goods and services tax, was introduced in India. At that time, there was a condition between the state governments and the central government. For 5 years, if there is any shortfall of revenues to any states, those shortfalls will be compensated by the central government. It was on this condition that states signed the GST agreement, and later on it became law of the land. So 17 to 2022. So till 2022, any revenue shortfall due to the introduction of GST will be compensated by the government. That was the agreement. And 81,179 rupees is due to the states for the year 2020-21, says the latest report. Recently the government had given 91,000 crore to different states. Kerala also got around 4,600 crore. 81,179 crore is due to the states for April and May this year. 55,000 crore is outstanding. Please do not take down any of these figures, these are not important, but you should understand that there is a condition between the center and the states, and the center owes the state for any loss of revenue due to the introduction of GST till 2022. Many governments, including that of Kerala, have demanded the central government to extend this date beyond 2022 because of the pandemic. Thank you very much, my dear students, for the kind participation. Make sure that you all read the newspapers and then come for the show. Tomorrow we shall be discussing the Hindu dated July 21. I have one request. When I will be taking the um, reasoning classes tomorrow. Logical reasoning will be taught for the State Bank of India mains examination. I request all the students of this online app, those who have already written SBI examination, others can also participate. On day 10 of our bank test training course in the Udyog Seva application, on day 10, I have given you basics of logical reasoning. A note is given, please read that many times. I have given a video class on that too. Tomorrow I shall be retaking the class live, and I shall be discussing a few questions also on logical reasoning. Make sure that you all read the notes very well before you attend the session tomorrow at 1:30. Thank you very much. Have a very nice day. Await more online live sessions today. Goodbye.